Raptors gave Immanuel Quickley a 5-year, $175 million contract. Ended up being $32.5 million a year. But they're paying Immanuel Quickley $32.5 million a year to be their starting point guard. And since that contract has been signed, he has not played to the level of a $32.5 million player. And it is really starting to hurt the Raptors as they try to make a push up the standings and into the playoffs. And go back to the contract when it was signed. Immanuel Quickley, coming off of a season with the Raptors, half season with the Raptors, where he put up 18.6 points per game in his games with the Raptors. He shot the ball quite efficiently, 39.5% from three, low 40s from the field. But he's a guy taking a lot of threes. That's something that you kind of have to expect there. But there was reason to be optimistic. This is a player in their age 24 season here, putting up numbers like this, quality numbers with the opportunity to build off that, a younger player growing into a new role. This is Immanuel Quickley playing as a point guard after shifting from a shooting guard from the New York Knicks. These were very promising signs, the 6.8 assists to go with that as well in 38 games. There was reason for optimism about Immanuel Quickley, but even with that, felt like the right number for him in free agency that year. Felt like the right number was high 20s. I was thinking I'd like to give him 27. I'm okay to go 29 and a half. Then the Raptors came up to $32.5 million. And okay, maybe some leverage is in his camp because you traded for him and now you have to re-sign him and you're worried about him leaving. Maybe that can play out in a little bit. So you just do what you can to keep him. You give him the money and you hope that at some point he is going to build himself up to be able to be worth that contract. Kind of felt like for Immanuel Quickley, that is the hope you get there. But it was a player coming off of a rookie contract. So you had leverage yourself in restricted free agency. You had leverage yourself in the sense who was going to match that amount of money. And maybe other teams don't necessarily need to match the money in order to pay him the same amount because of the tax situation in Toronto and Ontario and all that. But they have to match as a restricted free agent, the Raptors have the ability to match the contract. So I don't know where the pressure was necessarily coming from for the $32.5 million. Maybe it was a case the Raptors wanted to take care of their own, and they had the belief that he was going to build up to this, develop and get and earn and start earning that money a little bit more. But since then, there's been honestly it's just been regression for the player. Last season, he only played 33 games, 17.1 points, and just every number came down. Now, maybe part of it coming down is just minutes down. And if you look at it in a different lens and look at it from a per 36 perspective, again, there was some reason for optimism because he was averaging more points per 36 than that impressive season, which landed him that contract. He averaged slightly more assists than that impressive contract, which earned him that contract. Maybe the efficiency had come down a little bit from three, but his true shooting had gone up as well. So again, maybe through a different lens, it wasn't as bad. But then this season, he came in healthy finally. We're trying to be a good team, and he has underwhelmed. Certainly, you can blame some of it on touches because he's getting less touches, getting less shots because of the addition of Brandon Ingram to the team. But he's still only 0.5 field goal attempts less per game. His efficiency from two has gone up, but his efficiency from three has gone down. And just from watching games, his impact on the team has gone down. He's not taken any substantial movement upwards from a defensive perspective. He's been, honestly, a bit of a liability in that sense, not being able to provide much point of attack resistance for the team. 15.8 points per game. And there's just wildly inconsistent performances. There are just some games where he's giving you nothing. And look, a lot of these stats are fine for a point guard, but when you're getting paid as much as he's getting paid, it is really crippling for this Raptors team. So there's still time to amend this. Like Immanuel Quickley is I'm just double checking. Pretty sure he's 26 years old. He's 26 years old. Won't turn 27 to the end of the NBA season. There's still time to rectify this a little bit. He can still get better, but we're starting like to get into his prime years here, and definitely like worrying that at this point, like we've invested quite a bit of time into him, and it just doesn't really feel like there's been any substantial improvement. Like when he signed the contract, I thought it was, I mean, a lot of people thought it was an insane overpay. I thought it was an overpay, but I understood why the Raptors did it. Like they wanted to keep him. Maybe looking back, you think, well, like, what was the pressure to give him this much money with the restricted free agency and all? But I thought at least, like, he'll probably develop into a player that is worth this much. But so far, signs are pointing towards regression rather than progression for this Raptors team. And given, like, the recent run of games the Raptors are on, like, you just can't have that. Like, the amount of losses that the Raptors are racking up as of late. Like, we have 3 wins in the last 11 games. And like, the last 2 games in particular, which we've already looked at on the stream today, the loss to the Boston Celtics, he gives you 3 points. 1 of 12. Just disaster of a stat line. And there's, like, a frequency to it. Recent loss to the Brooklyn Nets, yeah, he got 17 points, but he was 5 of 16, and he had an impact on like 3 minutes of this game, really. Sure, he got 10 assists, but there's different standards when you're being paid like a premier starting point guard in the NBA. There's different standards that he's just coming nowhere to meeting. The Raptors need so much more out of Immanuel Quickley that I'm sure they're exploring trades right now. And the issue with trading him is that, like, people are looking for just straight up upgrades to point guard. Like what is Immanuel Quickley's value right now? From a value perspective, Immanuel Quickley's value as a trade asset is purely just salary matching. I don't think anybody perceives there to be value on, okay, we're bringing in Immanuel Quickley, the basketball player that's going to help our team in this respect. Like the only value he has is simply he's making $32.5 million. So if you're trading for an Anthony Davis, LaMelo Ball, a Trae Young, Domantas Sabonis, whoever, whatever name you want to use, the value is he can help get you up to the number for salary matching, right? So I don't see like where the upgrade is going to come. I don't see like how the Raptors like get out of this. It's not looking good from a contract perspective. He's got 3.5 years to change that narrative, and sure, a lot of things can change if you can find any degree of consistency. But there's big concern right now for me with the contract, and there's much larger concerns from the majority of the Raptors fan base that well exceeds where my concern levels lie. But for me, quickly, like, I don't really see the solution as really being a trade. I think the solution just has to be this guy needs to start playing a lot better basketball for this fucking team. If he doesn't, there's not much we can do about it. He's got to be better.